Nursing 474, Application of Ethics in the Community. Here are your weekly learning objectives listed again on this slide as they were in the last presentation. As far as history related to ethics, in the 1960s, the ANA recommended that all nursing education should occur in institutions of higher education. As this process slowly took place, ethics as a course per se was removed from many schools, although ethical values remained. The field of bioethics began to emerge because of major advances in science and technology. Today, the majority of nursing programs integrate bioethics content into their courses and have separate bioethics courses or both. The most recent American Nurses Association Code of Ethics for Nurses with Interpretive Statements it's actually being revised now, or it just came out this year. The first known International Code of Ethics for Nurses was adopted in 2000 by the International Council of Nurses. From the 1980s to the present, the number of centers for nursing and allied health care ethics has increased steadily, and the majority located in academic settings. In 1991, the ANA founded its Center for Ethics and Human Rights. In 2008, the NAA published Nursing and Healthcare Ethics, a Legacy and a Vision. The American Public Health Association's Public Health Code of Ethics was adopted in 2002. Ethical decision-making is a component of ethics that helps the nurse focus on the process of how ethical decisions are made. This process helps the nurse address moral challenges, puzzling moral problems, and diverse or conflicting ethnicity values. Although many different ethical decision-making frameworks exist, the process is basically a solving problem approach. The first requirements of ethics is to think appreciatively and carefully about moral matters and not simply obey rules or authorities without thinking for oneself. Keeping this in mind, the following generic ethical decision-making framework may help guide the nurse. You should identify ethical issues and dilemmas, place ethical issues and dilemmas within a meaningful context, obtain all relevant facts, reformulate ethical issues and dilemmas if needed, consider appropriate approaches to actions or options, make decisions and take action, and evaluate decisions and actions. There are certain definitions, theories, and principles related to ethics. Ethics is concerned with a body of knowledge that addresses the general obligations that humans have as members of society, not to harm others, to respect others, to tell the truth, and to keep promises. Ethical judgments are based on values. Seek to choose that action or state of affairs that is good or right in the circumstances, and generally do not have the certainty of scientific judgments. Ethical judgments generally do not have the certainty of scientific judgments. Ethics and the core functions of population-centered nursing are grounded in ethics. Assessment is ethical tenets of competency, virtue ethics, moral character and integrity, and do no harm. Policy development related to ethics and core functions include ethical tenets of public good, or over self, or do right, and what is the ethical is good policy. Assurance related to core functions are ethical tenets to teach to each person a fair share and workforce competency and availability. The Nursing Code of Ethics. The Code of Ethics for Nurses with Interpretive Statements is the profession's non-negotiable ethical standard. It contains provisions and commentary about each provision that addresses moral standards, and it delineates nursing values, goals, and obligations. The Public Health Code of Ethics from 2002 contains 12 principles and commentaries about each principle that addresses moral standards. It delineates public health values, goals, and obligations. Advocacy is a powerful ethical concept in community and public health nursing. Advocacy is an important concept in nursing that embodies an ethical focus grounded in quality of life. Public health advocacy focuses on finding ways to involve healthcare professionals in influencing policies related to protection of all Americans and their communities from preventable, serious health threats, and helping to ensure access to healthcare and eliminating health disparities and are strongly linked to quality of life. Codes and standards of practices. There are several codes and standards of practice that address advocacy, but three are addressed here. They are the ANA Code of Ethics for Nurses with Interpretive Statements, PHLS Public Health Code of Ethics, and the ANA's Scope and Standards of Public Health Nursing Practice. There's conceptual frameworks for advocacy. One framework that can be used to define helpful behaviors for advocacy is to contrast social justice and market justice. Market justice is grounded in the assumption that the best way to meet the needs of the individual in society is to avoid regulation. The focus is on the individual and not on shared needs, which influences public dialogue about public health needs. The Practical Framework for Advocacy from Bateman in 2000 offers a practical approach to advocacy by placing the advocate's core skills of interviewing, assertiveness or force, negotiation, self-management, legal knowledge, and research and litigation within the context of 6 ethical principles for effective advocacy. The principles include act in the client's best interest, act in accordance with the client's wishes or instructions, keep the client properly informed, carry out instructions with diligence and competency, act impartially and offer frank, independent advice, and maintain client confidentiality. As far as advocacy and bioterrorism, the ANA Center for Ethics and Human Rights maintains a list of useful resources addressing biodefense and the allocation of scarce resources to fight terrorism globally. Advocacy and healthcare reform. The signing of the 2010 healthcare reform bill gives nurses the opportunity to advocate tying healthcare for all to ethics and social justice.